increase in security concerns and records of complaints are unending. Now from private hailing the news. Coughing and throat irritation are the first symptoms of smoking, followed by bad breath and stinky clothes. Now, more serious illnesses such as heart disease. The goal of No Smoking Day is to raise a public awareness about the dangers and the consequences of smoking, as well as to insist smokers to quit. Now, quit. So the theme for this year's International Smoking Day is quitting. Smoking doesn't have to be stressful. It's not so much of hard work when you say you want to quit.
It's not easy for some people though.
Easy to say, right?
Yes,
exactly.
because
Easier said than
I have
done.
a couple of friends
that smoke.
I remember when I was 7, a friend of mine did a challenge, and it was like for the next 3 months. I mean, it was going to start with one day, and then he started with, I'm going to put it on Twitter and on social media so that my followers and my friends will hold me accountable. Yeah. He tried his best, but I mean, I think he went for like 2 weeks. No, he really tried. He went for 2 weeks without it, and he fell back. And I don't even know if he has stopped right now, but I mean, that was like a long time ago. I know that a lot of people that have decided to try to stop smoking, they haven't been able to, but
I'll take it from 2 angles, basically.
Yeah.
There is a situation whereby people who are interested in, quitting can just wake up one morning and just actually decide to quit without any hassle. And they are able to accomplish that task. But there are some people that actually try to accomplish it, and it's kind of difficult because it's a habit that is quite difficult to break. Smokers do not just smoke because they just feel like smoking.
Stress,
it's because
it's
of
because
of a lot of stress and tension.
So my dad used to smoke.
They are 90 and they
are okay.
They're okay. Yeah. So I think
so those are the bad examples in the society, because people will see them, they are still smoking and they are not dead, and they say smokers are liable to die young. But this man is in his 80s and 90s. Alera, let's start with you. What's your story?
Okay, so my story is actually from Africa. So, I mean, based on International Women's Day that we had yesterday, I mean, this entire week is basically about women. And we're actually focusing today on women in sub-Saharan Africa who are experiencing poor sanitation. So, I mean, this article says why sanitation is a woman's issue. So, in this community, there are still 2 billion people without access to adequate sanitation. I mean, that's a big number. And then poor sanitation has a disproportionate effect on women's health, safety, and quality. In 80% of households with water shortage, women and girls bear the burden of water collection. This consumes valuable time for school, employment, or even leisure that exposes women to physical and sexual abuse. Most of these women don't even have the access to even have like sanitary, like have their bath properly. Even when they're on their period, when they're menstruating, they don't even have access to just, a private place to use water and clean themselves up. And these women are actually really going through a lot. You say for some women who have no access to toilet, they finding a safe or private place to defecate or manage their cycle. I mean, it's really scary. And women are really going through a lot because these things that happen to them, they can't really help it. Like I mean, this is really sad.
I was saying to a friend of mine today that part of why I am very finicky when it comes to cleaning my intimate area and all of that, because my mom, when we're growing up,
you always tell us that story.
You have like 2 buckets of, so 1 full bucket is only for your whatever. You bend down there, you make sure have you cleaned it, and all of that. So I now understand why, because I found it really difficult to learn that a lot of women actually have poor hygiene when it comes to their intimate areas. I used to think that it's supposed to be a normal thing. I didn't know that my mom was exceptional doing that, because she actually trained all the girls. We had 7 girls in the house, all of us. You can't because I was saying to my friend that my mom's nose is like that of a dog. She sniffs, she can smell things from afar. So because of that, you can't have mouth odor, body odor, or whatever around her, because she can't stand it. So because of that hygiene. So I can now imagine.
People that don't even have
you understand? When I even grew up, it even became worse. I had 2 buckets. When I was in university, 2 buckets would be there just for my my genitals, then 1 bucket for my body. That's how bad the shower is, shower time. So I have 3 buckets. So you can now imagine people that cannot even have like a cup.
Individuals suffered bad fuel consumption for their cars. So we have a Bad Fuel Coalition demands compensation for owners of damaged vehicles. And this was championed by Niger Delta, of course. I need to get the name of the individual. He says, just a minute. And his name is the National Coordinator for Niger Delta Youth Council, Engineer Jato Abido, told the reporters in Abuja yesterday that the losses and damages caused by the actions of the industry managers, especially the Minister of Petroleum Resources, Mr. Timipre Silva, and the Group Managing Director of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, Mr. Mile Kyari, I think, cannot be overlooked because they have not also put the lives and businesses of Nigerians at risk, but also they have put the spots all over the country. Yeah. I rest my case there.
They'll be all right. Nigeria. All right, so I picked this story because it's in line with what we're having, the conversation we're having today. I'll just quickly run through it because we'll still talk about it when we come back from the break. So the Bamishe says, don't board BRT bus without inner lights at night. This is coming from the governor of Lagos State, Mr. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu. He tells Lagosians, the state governor has cautioned the residents across the state against boarding BRT, that's the bus rapid transit vehicle, without inner lights at night. The governor said following the abduction and murder of the 22-year-old girl, Oluwabamiche, after boarding a bus. Now, a video that was shared before her gruesome murder showed that she was in a BRT bus without the inner lights turned on. Also, he was speaking at an event at Mobolaji Johnson Arena in Onikon to commemorate International Women's Day on Tuesday, and the governor noted that the buses that have closed for the day would indicate by switching off their inner lights. Now, according to him, when BRT drivers switch off their inner lights, Sanwo-Olu said the buses were expected to be taken back empty to their yards. So this now explains why the bus driver did not stop at any bus stop, and it wasn't flagged, right? Nobody raised any alarm because technically if he has closed for the day, he switches off his lights. And he's driving. Nobody is stressing that the stiff punishment awaits anybody that is found culpable in what he described as a criminal.
It is engagement we need to have.
Those who suffer miscarriages are never taken into account.
Members of the National Assembly are also influence peddlers.
You are sitting on Nigerians' money.
From the barbing, I pay my rent. From the barbing, I send my children to school.
A consultative engagement.
No any tangible notification before they ban us.
It's one thing for people to be at your back and the heat of the moment, and another thing for them to still be with you when push comes to shove.
I will do everything to take Lagos out of the national grid.
What we do not understand, we will stigmatize.
What you can see is the remaining of the tanker that exploded.
The suspect equally confessed.
All right, thanks for staying with us now. Road transport is the most commonly used mode of transportation in Nigeria today. Road traffic depends on the pattern of human settlements, that accounting for more than 90% of subsectors' contribution to the gross domestic product. Public transport security refers to the measure taken by a mass transit system to keep its passengers and employees safe, protect the carrier's equipment, and to make citizens. While we fight for a better country, we must protect ourselves with whatever it is. We must be alert and protect ourselves, equip ourselves with information. Now, what signs do you take note of when using public transportation? Do you even pay attention to your environment? Do you pay attention? So please let us hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-84663. So I'm going to ask our ladies just 2 seconds before I bring in our guest. Do you actually pay attention to your environment when you're boarding and the hailing services or maybe a bus or whatever? Do you pay attention?
I mean, with the downfall buses, there's the one chance that happens that some people would pretend that, oh, they're passengers, and the next thing they're robbing you. And I've even heard a lot of, stories about the ride-hailing services that they rape girls, they steal from girls, even from men. I think there was a time they killed a guy to calm down. At first she was really she wasn't so sure, but she had to pretend that she was talking to her sister, and the guy packed for her like, calm down, calm down, calm down. I mean, she was really alert, and it was quite scary. Everybody just has to be alert.
How about you, Issy? Let me hear your thoughts.
For me, I finished that experience. I was traumatized from that experience. So whenever I get into a cab, I look under, look inside, check the boot, everything that is possible to look at. And I take it till I come down from that vehicle, I'm not at peace with myself.
So, you know what? It's not my duty to army gallantry. Do people even know when it comes to security and boarding, especially public transport system? How much are we aware of?
Well, that's a fantastic question, Uwa, because the statement from the Lagos State Governor, for me, well, it's a good one, but I don't think he needs to put the vulnerability analysis. You observe that the Lagos State Government must be held accountable, and the family of those family of Bamiche should sue the Lagos State Government, because you can't project drivers on the highway that are not well vetted. How do you vet these drivers? What about their background check? I was going through the guy's name. He said Andrew Nice, or what's his name? Nice. Where is that Nice coming from? That should that this lady just died. Like, it permits you, to stop in done it before. I so believe that this guy.
This is not the first
time. It's not the first time. It's not the first time, and it so targets our ladies. And as time goes on, we'll also be talking about protection, ladies' protection, because sometimes as a lady, you don't need to just go out like that, because when you look at security chain, children and women are the most vulnerable in a family security chain. The lady was crying for help. Peradventure, if it was a guy, it might have activated verbal judo or whatever.
Okay, so Osai, the friend said, okay, they were speaking, I didn't understand the Yoruba fully, but you could see the friend telling her that, okay, Shaz, whatever it is, have you calmed down?
Yeah.
Okay, so just keep me posted. It was a normal chat. She didn't envisage that she was going to die.
Yeah, that was a journey.
So, like, that's what I'm saying. How do we even know that we are in danger?
I think what transpires is, sometimes when you are in a public vehicle, the first thing you need to be alert, Yes. The driver said, we'll share this money, I said, madam, let something just hit me, bam. Hey, guy, somebody want to share money with you, a stranger. All of a sudden, I just told the driver, I said, driver, can we just take them to military barrack? I'm a soldier. After communicating to your family, hey, I've boarded so bus, and I've boarded XYZ bus, I'm on my way. And yes, the number plate is this. And whenever you suspect any suspicious movement, try to allow the person know what's happening. So on this girl's part, I think she was careless in the area of chat.
Left Onitsha, I think they were coming down this
group, yes.
So he was the one that actually saved the day. Now, because he was
For adventure, you boarded a bus, and whenever you board a bus, the first thing you need to do, scan through the bus, look at the passengers. Try to greet, good afternoon, if you care. If you don't care, just scan through. Definitely you see a thief. If you don't see a thief, you can move on. But, sometimes when you rely on divine protection, which you and I believe that, oh yes, God protects each and every one of us. But wisely, you must know where you sit. Don't board, like most times I discourage people from taking Sienna. Sienna does not have windows. The windows are not operable. You just only have a one-way or two-way doors, you know. Make sure that you look through the bus you're going through, and whenever you're in a bus, scan through, look through all the passengers and the driver, and pay attention to their communication, because sometimes they might be communicating with the slangs or with the jargons, and you never can tell. They might just say, I beg, I bring that biscuit come for you. Where you did? Okay, I will soon deliver the bread, you know.
Wow.
Why are you making communication while you're in the vehicle that you soon deliver the bread or you soon drop the biscuit? You know, those are signs to look out for. Make sure once the driver activates any communication, whenever you're in a bus and the driver activates communication, be very careful.
Very
alert.
Very alert with that communication.
I remember growing up, right from when I was going to boarding school, GSS1, you know, from Lagos to, because I was in Nigerian Navy, Port Harcourt. So from Lagos to Port Harcourt, the public bus were entering. My father would take a picture of the plate number and like, baby, this is the plate number, where's the driver's number, write it there. These people, make sure that you talk to, oh, please, this is my daughter. You know, those kind of things, you're paying attention. Even when I was in the university, wherever I'm going to, I'm sending a message to my friend or to my sister that, oh, this is the place I'm going to, this is the address.
Know where you are.
Someone has to know where you are. Even when you're entering a vehicle, I feel like with Uber and, with the ride-hailing services, you have to, imagine you're snapping the plate number at the back, and then maybe you form like a recording, oh, I'm in the vehicle now, or I'm moving now. If you've even seen any sign, like Chloe said, she called her sister. Okay, so you're behind me, Abby. Okay, you're coming. Okay, no problem. So we've gotten to this place now. Oh, no problem. But when they see that you are not quiet, you are not, they'll readjust. Oh, yeah. Like the other lady said, the guy packed and said.
Sensitive point is what we call psychological deterrence. You know, sometimes if you don't have the tools or the power to engage the enemy, you apply psychology. You trick them psychologically. That's what she's trying to say, psychological deterrence. Because sometimes most of these guys, they are very heartless, and when they know you know, they'll try to be very careful, and that's why each time you are moving around, you want to go out, like you rightly said, make sure you tell your friends. You don't like some girls say,
don't be doing underground moves.
No, don't go on that G.
We are not hanging out.
Yes, we are not hanging out. Stay with us, we'll be right back. Now, if you just tuned in, we're having a discussion around security, and we're saying what are the signs to note when using a public transport system, and we have Dixon here with us. Please let us share what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation, send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-8663. All right, so we have our regular viewers. They've already started sending messages. Let me just take one from, what's his name, Jalingo, Taraba State. That's Kennedy, Bobby Kennedy. He says, my security tip, what I normally do when I board a taxi, either taxi, Danfo, BRT in places like Lagos, you know, is simple. I must take the number plate and in the killing of Bamishe. Great topic. You always have at ways. Thank you so much, Bobby Kennedy. So, you know, Dixon, let's come to this ritual killing, because this thing you talked about, this dollar thing. I just came out from a bank in Benin. I was doing my IT. I was in 200 level. So I was in my IT in a company in Benin. So I was going towards that call. Is it, what's the road now? Okay, I've forgotten the road. No. Ikoba Hill. So I came out from the UBA bank then, because then my parents used to send me the money. Even though I was the youngest, I was the one collecting the money for all my sisters. So I would go to the bank and go and collect the money to give them their own share. So I came out of the bank, I entered a taxi because I was going back to the office. All of a sudden, the taxi man started the conversation about dollar. There's dollar in the boot. See this guy, in fact, I just want to go and drop this passenger now. Once I drop, I'm turning back to the park. I want to do whatever. Me where be say my brain. So as soon as they just started that conversation about dollar and everything, I kept quiet. I didn't say a word. I did not say a word. I was just listening to them. So as soon as I said driver, all on the back immediately to go and look for them. We should just complete, because honestly, I am very paranoid when I enter, whether I avoid these public services.
I just remember